Josh, great to see you, man. Welcome to Popternative.
Great to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
It's interesting because, of course, with St. Dennis, the mockumentary style, there's a lot of breaking the fourth wall and talking to the camera. So, like, the camera's like a character in the show. Do you think about that at all? I feel like that's so awesome.
Yes. Dude, I thought I was the only one who came up with that, but you beat me to it. Yeah. And it actually took me a little while to figure that out. So you're one step ahead of me. I think after about 3 or 4 episodes, I realized, don't just look at the camera like it's a camera. Look at the camera like it's a character. And then you start developing a relationship to the character. And everyone's got their own different relationship to the camera. Like, I think for Bruce, he's like, this is his moment. The spotlight's on him. But for Alex, I mean, it's a little bit more of a like, tell me I'm not the only one seeing this craziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so interesting, too. And to kind of add to that, especially when you break the fourth wall, you look at the camera. I mean, we've seen it from some of our favorite sitcoms over the years. I just want to know, because you're there, we're not there, right? Like, is there a lot of breaking? Like, do you laugh a lot? Do other people laugh? What's that like? Like, I need to know about that with some of the things that happen on the show.
I'd say it's probably the job I've broken the most in. Partly because the actors I'm working with are like, heavy hitters. And so, yeah, I mean,
they also got to work with Josh Lawson. I just want to say that.
I mean, yeah. So unfortunately, they had that to deal with, but I got the good end of the stick. But yeah, like honestly, yeah, I think every take is different, and that's not to say we improvise in every take. I mean, we definitely always get a scripted one, and most of the time, the scripted one is more than enough because the scripts are so tight. Yep. But when there is improv, as there so often is, we don't know what's coming. And so to get Wendy or Mekki or Allison or Kai or whoever to just come out with something every take that you're not expecting, man, you'd have to be made of stone not to break at some of that stuff. I mean, it is so funny.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And it's interesting, too, because I'm a creative as well. I'm a filmmaker as well. So I always think about that. What's that like, kind of getting those scripts and then kind of seeing them come to life on screen, like the script to screen journey specifically with this? Because it might differ depending on the project, right? But what's that like with St. Dennis specifically, script to screen?
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think because it's an ensemble, that really informs, the reaction to every script, right? Because, there are often 2, 3, maybe even more storylines going on in any episode. And so the characters change depending on who they're interacting with, so once you start mixing the dynamics, whether it's, Bruce is with Matt or he's with Ron or whatever, that will ultimately change the character a bit, right? How he interacts with different people. And that's true for everyone. So every episode, one of the first things I look for and notice is, who am I acting with? Yeah. Who do I share this storyline with? And that always adds a different flavor to it.
And to add to that, so much happens before you go to camera on an episode of this show, right? You're discussing, you're figuring everything out and everything. So from a storytelling acting perspective, you can see there's 2 journeys, right? Josh, before filming something and then after filming something, or does it feel like one big journey with multiple steps in between? I'm curious about that.
Well, you would know as a filmmaker, right? You're absolutely right that there's so much work that goes on before an actor even steps on set, and even more work that goes on after an actor leaves set. Yep. So, our journey in the process of film and TV is quite minimal, actually. But it's up to us to make sure that when we're there, we deliver, right? Because everyone's got to do their job, including the actors. If we turn up and we're not, if we're just dragging our feet, then we're wasting everyone's time. So I think it just knowing how much work has gone in prior and how much we respect the creative team kind of forces us to bring our A game every time, because you don't want to be the one person who's not bringing it, because trust me, everyone else is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, last super quick question, it's all storytelling at the end of the day, but, I'm just wondering, how separate are past projects compared to something like St. Dennis? Like, do you take mindsets or preparation wise from, roles like House of Lies or Mortal Kombat to something like this, or are they all separate once you wrap them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And not to get too deep, but I think post-COVID, right, the world changed so much that, in fact, I do find my approach to not just work, but to life has changed a little bit. I think it's put things in a different perspective. So, I mean, and I'm older now. I was in my 20s or late 20s when I was doing House of Lies. I'm in my 40s now. And that, just aging changes my perspective on life. I think it just it softens me or settles me a little bit. I think I have more appreciation for the art, the art form, as opposed to my job in it. I just appreciate the entire thing and everyone else. I'm more grateful for the work. I'm more appreciative of other people's talents, So I think I'm in I feel like I wouldn't go back in time. I like the place I'm in now and my approach to the work. I like how far I've come.
Absolutely. Episodes of St. Dennis still kind of rolling out each week. Thank you so much for your time. It was an honor and privilege to speak with you, Josh. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Pete. That's awesome, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.